SGC here, and we're back with a movie review on 47 Ronin. Directed by Erik Rinsch. This is his directorial debut, and oh my goodness. So 47 Ronin is an American fantasy action film depicting the fictional account of the 47 Ronin, aka the real-life group of samurai in 18th century Japan, who avenged the murder of their master when their master was killed. So, revenge film. So you might go, whoa, this is a Japanese in 18th century? What is Keanu Reeves, aka Neil, doing in this movie? Well, if you do up some reading, you might realize that they created Neil's character specifically for this film. So who do we have in this film? We got Neil, we got Hiroyuki Sanada. You might remember him from The Wolverine. He was the dude that was not in the armor samurai suit. We got Kou Shibasaki. If you know your Japanese drama, you know who she is. She was in Galileo season 1. We also have Rinko Kikuchi, who was the girl chick in Pacific Rim. You know, the scrawny girl, yeah. And one amazingly flawed, super ridiculous marketing device is that, you know the dude in the posters that is all tattoos and he's holding a gun? Like right here, he's not part of the movie. He shows up for like, I don't know how many minutes, maybe 5. But yet he's on the poster. This totally reminds me of how Hollywood picks posters for Chinese Asian films. Like if you have ever seen Infernal Affairs, this is the Hong Kong poster, and this is the Hollywood poster. See the difference? If you've seen the Infernal Affairs, these guys in the Hollywood poster do not exist or have any meaning to this movie. Anyway, let's move on. So the story I already said is an adaptation with the addition of Neil, who's a half hybrid sort of thing. He's white and he is totally pointless. Before I go on a rave of how awesome this movie is, I'll tell you what I liked about this movie. First off, if you didn't know, this movie was dated to be released last year of November 2012, and then it got extended to February of this year, but then it got pushed back all the way to Christmas of this year. So that's problematic, people. But you know, being a sucker for visuals and costume designs, I went into this movie anyway. And there you have it. The craziest part about this movie is the costume design. They get everything spot on and actually feels like feudal Japan back in the 18th century, and I'm like, wow, that is amazing. Everyone looks feudal, so that's an awesome thumbs up for them. And then you have the casting. All the Japanese casting, I would say I did not expect anything more from them. I was satisfied with their casting, though the biggest thing is, if you've seen any of my Chinese Hong Kong films reviews lately, if you know Cantonese, you know how much I hate dubs. Like the fact that people cannot speak to each other in their own language, but they choose to speak English is just messed up. Well, first off, this 47 Ronin should not even have been in English. It should have been Japanese throughout. And Neil, you should have just learned Japanese, and this movie would have been like 10 billion times better already. Because seriously, you see a white guy and you, in 18th century Japan, you do not know how to speak English. There's no way a Japanese person knows how to speak English. Like, but they all know how to speak English. Like, seriously, immersion gone. I can't do this. Like that immersion was just horrible. I actually thought there would have been Japanese audio, but there wasn't. So I guess I can just go to what I loved about this movie. First off, Neil, you totally are not needed. The fact that they purposely wrote you into the story is just lazy, and they just wanted your face on the poster to get box office tickets. And guess what? You don't even deliver in terms of a main protagonist. You don't even deliver on a supporting cast. The fact that you are not needed in this film, in the plot, in the character and motivation and the development, just proves how disgusting this movie was. Like the visuals, I would say comparing to Captain Harlock, this visuals really saved the movie. If the visuals were crap, that was it. Like, cause I mean, if you look at the trailers, there's a lot of people in Hong Kong who are like, that trailer looks really good. Well, it does look really good. You have some crazy ass guy in a huge hulking armor, he looks badass. You have this witch that turns into a dragon, and then you have this monster that's killing everybody. That's amazing. And then you have this bone skull tattoo guy on the poster. What can go wrong? Well, everything. Everything that's cool about this movie hardly, like, shows up. Like, I'll just spoil it because you don't even need to watch this movie at all. The thing that tramples people dies in the first, like, 10, 15 minutes of this movie. The big hulking guy in armor gets blown up. One fight, and it's not even an impressive fight. The bone tattoo guy, he shows up for maybe less than 10 minutes. The witch turned into a dragon. She got owned by a dude with a sword. The white guy, the most meaningless character. And she got owned that way. And there you go. That's all the cool stuff that happens in this movie. And they're horrible. Like I said, with the casting, Japanese casting, their motivations are pure in the sense of it's a Japanese. I feel like it's a Japanese film, but Neil is there, and then I'm like, oh god, like please, let's just get out of the screen. You're not needed. You're emotionless. Your motivation is unclear. I do not know anything about you that really drives forward the story, but yet you're essential in the minds of the cast of the characters. Like when they're Ronin, Hiroyuki Sanada plays Oishi. He looks for Neil. Why? Neil was a former slave who joins the Ronin, and he's half Japanese and half British. How did that even happen? How is he half British? Like, where did he come from? He just was abducted from Britain in 18th century Japan. And then they hate each other, but yet when the master dies, and Neil goes off and goes into like a bar fight, sword fighting with giants. Oh, that giant thing. He got owned. That was not cool. That was boring. Like, he finds him, despite the fact that he hates him, but there's no motivation as in, like, yes, I really need you to come with me to avenge my master, or our master. And also, 47 Ronin. I don't remember any of the names of the Ronins, except for Neil and Hiroyuki Sanada. That's it. These are 2 guys out of 47. There's, like, the fat guy, and there's the bitter guy, and there's, like, 40 other people that I don't know exists, except that, oh, you're walking with them, so you must be the 47. Like, you might say, well, SGC, you're an idiot for watching this film. You knew it was gonna be bad. Well, I don't know, I just felt that I wanted to watch it to give this a chance in the slightest hope that the visuals would deliver, and it actually did. I would actually say I enjoyed this visually a lot. Like, I'm actually seeing that the fact that it's so bad, I'm trying to justify why I watched it. First off, the Japanese casting. America, you have more Japanese people now that you can, like, invite over to speak English. We do not need a Ken Watanabe in every Hollywood film that requires a Japanese actor. And you must better pick up Hiroyuki Sanada because he's getting old. And then you also got Japanese actors that never been in a Hollywood film. This is the first time. And they can actually speak English, yet if you improve them to the point where it feels like they're fluent and not being dubbed, like I swear, Shibasaki Kou's English, I swear she's speaking English, but it is dubbed to me when I hear it when she talks. And yeah, so there you go, 47 Ronin. Visuals, I give them costume designs. CGI, whatever, it's whatever. Epic fights, epic moments, could have been so much delivered. I don't know what happened. Call Erik Rinsch, why did you direct this movie? You're like a nobody, picking up such a big project, and really, I don't get it. But yeah, so now I reviewed it, now I talked about it, 47 Ronin, I seriously swear to improve the movie. This is how bad it is, and I can think of how to improve it. First off, fire Neil. Neil's not needed. I don't know how much he is in, like, behind the scenes. Well, he didn't produce this movie. I think he was just pushed forward as this movie needed to be filmed. Universal Pictures, you need to write a better story. You can't just write in a white guy for the sake of a white guy, because he was... the fact that he did that, I was expecting for him to be like a crucial part of the story, because you created him for this story. But yet, he was totally not worthy of even a supporting actor. He's not even a supporting actor in terms of story, yet he's the front. He's on all the posters. He's number 1. And this is what you give us. So once again, if you say, SGC, you're stupid for watching this, well, I wanted to watch this just to make this video and I can say how bad it was. And it was actually enjoyable to compare it to great films when you watch a crappy film. But it's just a shame that I had to pay for this. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this 47 Ronin review. Skip it, skip it, skip it, skip it, skip it, skip it. Hope you heard me the first time. Just skip it. Neo, you need to somehow improve yourself. I heard Man of Tai Chi is really great. He directed that and he stars in that, and yet people really like that movie, so maybe that will be better when I watch it, but who knows. Neo, I hope for the best. That's all I can say for your acting and your career. That is all for this movie review of 47 Ronin. See ya.